Welcome to the Online Success Journey Podcast, your opportunity to discover and learn from entrepreneurs like yourself. This is not your typical podcast, but a place where you can get the real story and find out how real people encounter speed bumps and detours, but journey through to find success. Now here's your host for the Online Success Journey Podcast, Patience.
We are back with episode 314 of the Online Success Journey. Our guest today is a successful entrepreneur who is excited to share the very steps they took to build their business. And you will want to subscribe right now and ensure you will never miss a journey like this one. Today we have Meredith Kallaher, a creative, strategic, and authentic online advertising, helping businesses explore their sales goals. Hello, Meredith.
Hey, Patience, how are you today? Thanks for having me.
I'm fine, thank you, and thank you for coming. I know my audience are excited to hear your story, but just start by telling us one thing we are going to learn from you today that will help us on our journey to success.
One thing that we will learn today is someone gave me this advice and I followed it and it's working well, that if you follow the money, you will often succeed.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to hear more about that. Let's get started with the basics. Can you tell my audience a little bit about your background, about what you did before you started your own business?
Sure. So, first of all, nice to meet you guys, the audience. And right now, just to give you a little context, I have my own business called Meredith Kallaher Marketing, where I help business owners primarily with digital ads. I help them create strategy for Facebook and Instagram ads, and then I manage it for them. But also I do a little bit of conversion copywriting, usually for websites. And I build out Kajabi platform, which is also usually websites, but sometimes a product. Kajabi is just an option that is a website builder, and it will house a course or membership for you. But I got started, a while ago. I graduated college about 25 years ago with an accounting degree. And, I got my CPA shortly thereafter, my certified public accounting license. And I worked for one of the big 6 accounting firms. Now there's only 4 in the world, but it's now PricewaterhouseCoopers. And I did that for 6 years and did not like working there. Did not enjoy the job. It wasn't anything against Pricewaterhouse. Just I chose a field which I was good at. I'm really good at numbers, but I didn't think, and so I made good grades and I was able to get the job, which not everybody got right out of college. Sort of the dream job if you're an accountant. But I did not enjoy the day-to-day of auditing, which is what high-paid accountants get when they're 26. I really liked debits and credits, what lower-paid accountants get. But at the big 6 accounting firms, when you get started, you're doing more like legal work, sort of more compliance, and super boring is what I thought. I did get to go to Switzerland for 2 years with PwC, which was great. Was great for me because I'd never been out of the United States, and neither had my parents. And so that was wonderful. I was over there. Arthur Andersen, one of the big 6, collapsed. There was a scandal. They were basically got charged with faking some of the books for Enron, a big oil company. And when that happened, everybody that worked for Arthur Andersen, which was hundreds of thousands of people, sort of flooded the other big accounting firms. And Pricewaterhouse called me and said, hey, we gave away your job basically in the United States, but please keep working there if you want to. Just let us get reorganized and just stay in Switzerland, and then we'll figure out something to come home to. Well, had gotten married and we were ready to come home. So it was great timing because I just was not brave enough to leave this corporate job that was supposed to be, the pinnacle of a 22-year-old, or the cream de la crop of jobs for an accountant at 22. But that was a good push. I said, you know what? I'll just move me back home and I'll figure something else out. So that really started my entrepreneurial career. And I've done many different things, and a lot of them were successful. And then I would take a break or move on because I have now 3 teenagers and they were born in that time. But most recently, about 7 years ago, I bought a franchise that was a magazine for it's only in the United States. For those listeners, it's called the Scout Guide, and they're in 60 cities. And the Scout Guide was a beautiful book, coffee table book, advertised locally owned businesses. So I advertised for my city, which is Miami, and invited businesses to pay. It was pretty expensive. They would buy a placement in this gorgeous book, and I would hire a photographer, and we took their photo and we styled the ad. And then they also received kind of influencer type marketing from me that I ran on a social, like on an account called, it was like the best of local in Miami. And it was super fun, and it really afforded me a lot. I learned a lot. It was not a great business model for me being a franchisee. It wasn't easy to make it work because you have a lot of overhead royalties, and you had to use their printer and you had to use a lot of costs that they required that I agreed to in my franchise agreement. So after 5 years, I decided to leave that and sell the franchise and I had all these local clients. And that's what I guess, when I was sort of struggling, what should I do next? A wise friend of mine said, Meredith, just follow the money. And what she meant was, what are people willing to pay you for? And, that's where I started just trying different things out. And when I saw the power of Facebook ads and realized that a lot of people really wanted Facebook ads, I knew that could be something I might use my skills and be good at, because Facebook ads are all about the numbers, and they also have to look good. But to analyze the strategy and implement the ads, you really have to be fairly number minded. And since I am, obviously, since I'm an accountant, I thought, you know what? I'll go learn how to run ads because they're very complicated. And I've been creating advertisements for the last 6 or 7 years, owning this magazine. And so I married the two, and I just started telling people what I do and offering them my service, and they pay me for it. So that's how my business grew.
What a journey. Have you enjoyed the journey?
I have. I mean, and I've learned to. I guess, there was definitely some times that I didn't see the beauty in failure, but now I really do understand that success is built on top of a pile of failures, and that they're important. But for the most part, definitely, I've enjoyed the journey.
Why do you do what you do?
I guess the short answer is just because I want to, and I can, I mean, I have a desire to serve and to work and to use my brain, and so I do, right? But I also, it's fun because I create value and money for my family, and we get to do fun things like go on vacation and, put food on the table and live in our nice house. But honestly, I love to work and build things and create strategies. And then I definitely enjoy people. And so working with clients is super fun for me, just to interact with others. But where I am now and what I love doing now is I'm getting to work with a lot of small business owners that had a dream and created a business and want to grow their business and make money in their business. So it's pretty fun with Facebook ads I get to make money because other people are making money or creating value with their business, so that there's a lot of answers to your questions, but that really does bring joy to get to see their faces light up when their bank accounts are growing.
Let's put Iman aside. How do you know you are successful with your new venture?
I guess one way is because people, renew their contract. So that's always nice that they want to keep coming back. I also, when I see an ad deliver the results that we planned for, that brings me such satisfaction. Like I definitely, and I'm also really happy when the clients are happy, right? When they see the results that we plan for. But I have to tell you, Patience, I have worked with a client that, we talked about what the goals were. We created a strategy, and I was super thrilled because we met our goals. But that client wasn't as necessarily, she was second guessing everything. It felt like she could never say anything positive. And I really had to work on my mental game. Of course, I always want my clients to be happy, but I had to remind myself, and I did know that we were successful. Wait a minute, we were successful. We met our goals. Meredith, maybe you need to work on the communication. She obviously didn't understand what the goals were. I guess what I was trying to say is that does make me feel successful that we met the goals. And then another layer of that is that the client I feel successful when the client tells we make our goals. And
what have you learned from business as a whole?
Oh gosh, from business as a whole. You know what? I think that this is going to sound very woo-woo, but I think one thing that business as a whole taught me is that I am 100% worthy and valuable just for being born and for being a human, just like you are and my husband is and the guy across the street is. Like, I guess I learned how to deal with like shame of not doing a good job. Meaning, let me start. When I went to Pricewaterhouse, for instance, I didn't feel very good at that. Because I didn't like doing it. And it was, I did it for 6 years, but I wouldn't do that again for 6 years, but I wasn't used to not being good at something. Like, always had made good grades. I got the CPA exam and then I had the job and then boom, I got there and I thought, oh my God, I don't like this. Why don't I like this? And I honestly felt very ashamed. And I think it really affected me for 10 or so years. I thought I wasn't good at working. I thought that that's what that meant. And I think what I have learned is that no, working at Pricewaterhouse wasn't for me. That choice maybe I made wasn't for me, but that doesn't mean I'm a bad person. It just meant I didn't like that. And that's awesome to know, like sometimes you might make a bad choice or something doesn't work out the way, in your personal life that you wanted it to, but that doesn't mean you're bad or you're damaged something or you're not good enough. You're just a person that something happened to and you keep going, That's been a good lesson to learn. Yeah.
If you could rerun the first year of your business, what would you definitely know to do?
I think I would stay in my lane, meaning, I think that, figure out a service, go find people that want it, tell them about it, and then do that service for them. I did actually a decent job of that, but I love learning. I love podcasts. I love, if there's some new tool or trick out there, maybe that'll help my clients. And I think if I could have, I think I would have maybe grown even faster if I didn't try to add so many bells and whistles to my website, for instance, or maybe to my social media channel. I think I've learned that, but I think, for social media is a good example. I am not using organic social media to grow my business at this point yet, like Instagram or Facebook, because I didn't need to, because I know from running that magazine, I had quite a few local contacts. So I was able to just call people or email them and say, hey, I think these would work for you. Would you like to try it? And, there were some no's, but I could quickly fill up my client list. But I know some people, and me included, think, but everybody else is doing social media for their business. I probably should. Things like that. I think I could have tightened it up a little bit better and not lost, I feel like I lost focus a few times trying to add bells and whistles.
What is the most valuable thing you have ever given away?
Man, I think it's gotta be, well, you know what? For a year, like about 2 years ago, I did a YouTube video every week and I taught on marketing strategies. And then I honed it down for about 6 months, marketing strategies for busy doctors. And it's a lot of work. It's super fun, but I would record the video and then have it edited and then upload it to YouTube and then download it, up for a page on my website and then market it. And, it definitely was a lot of work. It's very valuable because I taught 52 different things, every day. I challenged myself to do it for a year, but it is still getting views to this day, so I didn't ever really monetize it. So I think that might be the most valuable thing that the knowledge that's sitting there, but it's still, I'm glad it's there because it's still helping people now and maybe connects me with a few people, not too many. Because my information is there. But
what is one thing that has contributed to your success?
I think probably one of the biggest things that's contributed to my success as an entrepreneur is my husband, and his financial support, because my business is, I'm making profit. I'm able to, I'm bringing home money to the family now for fun, but I couldn't have done that. If I didn't have him paying for our house and our family for several years, multiple years, while I, was able to, grow a business and without making too much money or in flops and, fail several times. I mean, it's doable without a second income, a spouse with a second income, but it definitely made it easier for me to grow my business. So I'm thankful that I had that for that.
What grounds you?
Spending time with friends and family, because I really am a people person. So one thing about Facebook ads and Instagram ads is that I've been spending more time doing, it is a lot of computer time. And so I, most recently, besides spending time with my family, I, have been playing tennis with about 8 girlfriends 2 or 3 times a week. And luckily, during COVID, there's a tennis court in my neighborhood. And I felt because of the lockdown, all the public courts a lot of them were shut down. So we got in a habit. These 8 friends come right outside my front yard. I felt so lucky, twice a week. And we play tennis. So we get to socialize and we exercise. And I think that definitely rounds out my day and, my week.
In your business, do you have a mentor or a coach?
Yes, I have several. Right now I'm part of 2 sort of more group coaching. But there's a woman named Brooke Castillo. She's awesome, you guys. She certifies life coach. So if you're looking for a life coach certification program, I think hers sounds super interesting. It's called the Life Coach School, but she has a program called Self-Coaching Scholars that teaches you how to coach yourself. So I've learned so much on, how to redirect my mind and, really the premise of the Life Coach School is you can change your results by changing your thoughts. And they're not the only people that teach that, but I really learned how to change the results in my business by changing my thoughts. But also in that program, I get 2 20-minute coaching calls a week. It's awesome. So I definitely sit down with these coaches and they coach about business and whatever you want, and go through, hey, this is what I was thinking. This is what I was thinking I should change my thinking to, basically, and they help me walk through, maybe any question I have, but a lot of them have to do with business. And then I also am part of a group called Serve, Scale, Soar, and it's run by a woman named Brandy Miles. And she provides insights for online service providers like me. She gives us tools and tips, but also she provides a community for us where we can ask each other questions. So I would say right now my coaches are Brandy Miles and Brooke Castillo.
Wow. What is the most valuable thing your mentors has told you?
Well, for sure, I guess it's the model that I learned to change my thoughts with Brooke Castillo, and she teaches that any circumstance you have in your life, a circumstance creates thoughts. A thought creates feelings. Feelings drive our actions, and actions give us our results. And she didn't make that up. Like lots of people teach that, but learning that has been a game changer for me.
What is one thing no one knows about you?
Not many people know that I was a nationally competitive debater when I was in high school, and we even won a couple of national tournaments.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. What is the most important question to ask someone who's bought from you?
Well, the most important thing to ask from them is, did they get the results they wanted when they worked with me? And I think the second most important was, did you feel like you had a clear communication channel with Meredith? Did she hear you and answer your questions in a timely manner? Because that's important to business owners, and I try to deliver.
Let's talk about your business. Tell us more about it and who can join it.
Okay. So I primarily create digital advertising campaigns, strategize, and then create the assets, meaning the ads, and then manage it. And really any business owner that wants to reach more potential customers or clients, we could work together. I don't recommend Facebook and Instagram ads for a new product or a new service. And the reason for that is because I've done that before and it can get super expensive. So meaning if you are a coach, for instance, or like a coach, but you want to be a coach and you're just starting out and you, haven't asked your friends or your email or even on social media, let's say, I'd like to business coach you for $300 an hour. Let's just pretend. Well, it would be really, if you came to me and said, I've never done it before. I don't know who's going to buy from me. I think this is what I want to charge. We would have to go test different types of people. Like, is it going to be men that buy from you? Women? Are they going to live in Iowa? Are they going to live in Singapore? All that testing can be super expensive, as well as like the price. Like, is $300 right? Maybe it should have been $700. What if it should have been $100? And then what are the words that might work to attract your customer? So what works better is if you want to be a coach, let's go back to that. If you first go sort of start offering it to everyone you know in person, and then maybe, to other people, like to your neighborhood business group or whatever, and see who is buying from you. Then even if it's just 15 people, like, I don't mean you have to do it forever. Then what's so powerful about Facebook and Instagram ads is we can look at who's bought from you and what they're buying. And then we can go target literally millions of that people, depending on how big your geographic area is, but thousands of people that look just like your buyer, and nail it. It's a super cool way to just like explode your reach. You see? So yeah. And if people want to work with me, I'd love to, when we can talk it out, that you can book a call on my website, meredithkallaher.com. And you tell me about your business, tell me your goals. If you are a great fit for Facebook and Instagram ads, and I tell you how we could work together, and then you decide, if you want to. And also if you're struggling with your website copywriting, I'd love to talk to you about that too. So we could jump on a call.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
There will be more from Meredith in a moment. If you are listening to this on a podcasting platform and you are encouraged by Meredith's journey, please go to our website at onlinesuccessjourney.com. The site has tons of audio clips from hundreds of successful entrepreneurs' guests' journeys, all there to help you find a path to your own online success journey. The site offers exclusive members-only content, and you can join absolutely free and be part of this amazing online success community today. Check it out. That's onlinesuccessjourney.com. Now, Meredith, I would love for you to share more with my audience if you're up for it.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
Thank you. Do you like to read books or watch movies?
I'm more of a book person.
Tell us, what is your favorite book that has some relevance to being an entrepreneur?
My favorite book, I think, is Building Your Story Brand by Donald Miller. And I believe it's because I use it so much. He teaches that every business should create a brand story. And in that brand story, the customer is the hero of her or his journey, and the business is the guide. And so I love the concept, and I've helped lots of businesses write their brand story. And once you have a brand story in place, and me too, it's so easy to create your website copy, but also then social media posts and emails, because you're kind of always looking at where the customer is on her heroic journey and what you need to tell her to move her along to success. It's cool.
If your business was down to its last $100, how would you invest it?
Well, I might invest in a coaching session if I'd gotten down to $100 and was a little bit not sure what to do next. Yeah, I do enjoy talking to someone, even if it's just laying out my brain so they can help me sort through it. If I'm feeling overwhelmed and like, what do I do next? But if I was trying to reach more customers, Facebook ads isn't a bad place to do that either.
If you are going to keep a note to yourself in your handbag every day, what would be written on it?
We can do hard things. I like that because just because it's hard, I had to teach myself that a little bit. Just because it's hard doesn't mean I shouldn't do it. And actually, I've realized it's kind of fun to learn something new. But I like the we instead of I can do hard things, because it reminds me that, you know what, you don't have to do this by yourself. Like if something does seem hard and I'm struggling, who can I ask to help me get something done? I like that.
What is your next chapter?
My next chapter, honestly, I am just going to build out my business as it is now, meaning I want to continue being a service provider to businesses and kind of maybe grow the size of the businesses I'm helping, as I love working with one-on-one. So if we max out and able to help people, then that's great. But maybe, as the size of the businesses that I help grows, then my next step might be to hire a team to work with me to service people better, more people.
Do you feel like you succeeded or like you're only on the way?
No, I think for sure I succeeded.
Will you ever stop?
Maybe. I mean, I love what I'm doing, and it's, and I'm able right now. I definitely sometimes work on the weekends and sometimes work at night, but it's nice because the reason I do that is because I might stop early to pick up a child from school, so I'm really able to work business around sort of a busy personal life because 3 teenagers that are at the house can keep you kind of busy. So I don't know. I mean, I can't see why, and I'm enjoying working and I'm enjoying life. So I mean, I guess maybe one day I'll want to retire, but I can't see it unless if I get tired or something, but I love it. Yeah.
Wow. Remind us how we can connect with you.
Yeah. So, my website is a great place, meredithkallaher.com. And I'll spell it real quick in case people are listening. It's MEREDITH. My last name is KALLAHER.com. And you can find me in everywhere on social media, but really Twitter. I don't go to Twitter too much, and I love Instagram. So I said I'm not using it really to promote my business, but I do love to, chat with people there. And so I'm on there quite a bit, and everywhere I'm Meredith Kallaher. You can find me.
Meredith, it's been great having you to share your online success journey with us.
Patience, it's such an honor to share, and I'd love to connect with some of your listeners, so you guys reach out because I'd love to hear about your business. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you. Remember, success is a journey. Don't wait. Let's start the journey. Patience and Meredith.
This is not the end of the journey. We hope you've enjoyed listening to Patience and her guest and want you to know there are hundreds of episodes available at onlinesuccessjourney.com. Patience would like to thank you for listening to the podcast, and she has a free gift for you on her website, including an audio compilation of her guests' best tips, uplifting stories, and even a bit of fun. Additionally, there are special clips of over 250 episodes that have never aired on the podcast, and they're only available to members of the Online Success Journey. Check the website and click on Join Now to get free and instant access. Of course, you know that listening to the journeys of others helps each of us chart our own path. So make sure you're subscribed on your favorite platform to be notified as each new interview is posted. There are so many ways to stay connected to the Online Success Journey and listen in. And if you're enjoying the podcast, we appreciate your help in telling others. One of the best ways to share the benefit you get is to rate and review the podcast at iTunes and other sites. We appreciate your help and your willingness to share your journey. One last thing. If you're feeling a bit lost or overwhelmed on your own journey, Patience can help. Check out her course on clarity while you're at the website. Finding clarity is a great way to get back on the right path. On behalf of Patience, and until next time, thanks once more for listening. It is our hope that this podcast will guide you on your own online success journey.